Welcome back. So now we start with derivatives of hyperbolic functions. Formula 1. Derivative of sine hyperbolic is cosine hyperbolic. Let's check. Derivative with respect to x of sine hyperbolic x is d by dx of e raised to x minus e raised to negative x the whole over 2. Well, this is simple derivative. Derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x minus derivative of e raised to negative x is e raised to negative x with the minus 1 being multiplied over 2. So that gets me e raised to x plus e raised to negative x over 2, which is cosine hyperbolic x. So you have your first formula there. Second formula, derivative with respect to x of cosine hyperbolic x is sine hyperbolic x. Okay, it's plus sine hyperbolic x. Well, what is cosine hyperbolic x? E raised to x plus e raised to negative x by 2. So derivative of e raised to x plus e raised to negative x by 2 is, well, over 2. So that's simply a constant. So e raised to x derivative is e raised to x plus derivative of e raised to negative x is negative 1 times e raised to negative x. So that fetches me e raised to x minus e raised to negative x the whole over 2. This is sine hyperbolic x. Next, derivative of tan hyperbolic x is secant hyperbolic x. Let's look secant hyperbolic square of x. Let's look at the formula. Derivative of tan hyperbolic x is derivative of sine hyperbolic x over cosine hyperbolic x. This calls for quotient rule. Denominator squared, derivative of the numerator, denominator as it is, minus numerator as it is, derivative of the denominator. So, cosine hyperbolic squared minus sine hyperbolic squared over cosine hyperbolic squared. But cosine hyperbolic squared minus sine hyperbolic squared is 1. So 1 over cosine hyperbolic squared, which is secant hyperbolic squared. So derivative of tan hyperbolic is secant hyperbolic squared. Next formula. Derivative of cosecant hyperbolic x is negative cosecant hyperbolic x cotan hyperbolic x. Let's look for it. Derivative of cosecant hyperbolic x is derivative of 1 over sine hyperbolic. 1 over sine hyperbolic is sine hyperbolic x power negative 1. When I take derivative, the minus comes down. Sine hyperbolic x power negative 2. Chain rule, derivative of sine hyperbolic is you are going to multiply by cosine hyperbolic. All of this amounts to negative cosine hyperbolic x over sine hyperbolic squared x. Just rewrite it simply as negative cosine hyperbolic x over sine hyperbolic x times sine hyperbolic x. Notice 1 over sine hyperbolic is cosecant hyperbolic. Cosine hyperbolic over sine hyperbolic is cotan hyperbolic. Negative is a negative. And therefore you have the formula derivative of cosecant hyperbolic x is negative cosecant hyperbolic x times cotan hyperbolic x. Likewise, derivative of secant hyperbolic x is negative secant hyperbolic x times tan hyperbolic x. Let's check. Derivative of secant hyperbolic x is derivative of secant hyperbolic is 1 over cosine hyperbolic. Rewrite this as cosine hyperbolic power negative 1. Derivative of this, so negative 1 comes down, power reduces by 1, and by chain rule, derivative of cosecant hyperbolic is sine hyperbolic. Put it all together, negative sine hyperbolic on the top over cosine hyperbolic squared x. So that gets me, let me separate this, negative sine hyperbolic, cosine hyperbolic, cosine hyperbolic. 1 divided by cosine hyperbolic is secant hyperbolic. Sine hyperbolic over cosine hyperbolic is tan hyperbolic. So you have derivative of secant hyperbolic is negative secant hyperbolic x tan hyperbolic x. Next formula, derivative of cotan hyperbolic is negative cosecant hyperbolic squared x. Derivative of cotan hyperbolic x is derivative of, what is this? It's quotient cosine hyperbolic x over sine hyperbolic x. So you're going to use quotient rule here. Square the denominator, derivative of the numerator, denominator as it is, minus numerator as it is, derivative of the denominator. So that gets us sine hyperbolic squared x minus cosine hyperbolic squared x. So if I flip these two, I have a negative cosine hyperbolic squared minus sine hyperbolic squared, which is 1. So negative 1 over sine hyperbolic squared, which is negative cosecant hyperbolic squared. So derivative of cotan hyperbolic x is negative cosecant hyperbolic squared x. Okay. So well, the next topic is on inverse hyperbolic functions. It is a very important topic, so I will start in my next video.